Hello again, this is Mike Petrie with Petrie Consulting and the Remote Research Director's Service. We are now going to talk about how to administer surveys to a recipient, whether it be a staff, a parent, guardian, or a client. And the last tutorial that we did taught you how to add clients into the system, and so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up where we ended there and just create a quick test client, Jeremiah Johnson. The system detects that this is an adolescent, so it's going to ask us to create a related contact. So we're going to put save the new relative. So now that we've added the client and a related contact, the rules that are predefined for the adventure therapy study are being applied right now. And so what we can see is that we've got three different recipient groups that are supposed to receive surveys: staff, a related contact, and the individual client. So you can see right now that the status is that these surveys are queuing, and these surveys are unassigned. And when we hover over this, it says it's missing an active provider or responsible user. And so if you saw from the last tutorial, you need to come in and choose a user or create a user under this staff category and assign that person to the client. So I'm going to use sample staff. And now those surveys that were in queue before I added the staff to the record are now ready to be administered, and now the staff surveys are queuing. And so it takes about a minute for those to come up into queue. So we've got a client in the system. Let's talk a little bit about one of these rows so you can understand what we're talking about, or where the person is in the scheduled treatment. So A0 is what is called an instance code, and this means that it's admitted 0 days since. And so this is telling us that these are the first surveys that are going to be fired out. If we were giving a survey at 60 days, it would be an A60. So these instance codes are firing off of whether you have an admit or a discharge date. If the client is discharged, this will change from today will show as D0 if they discharge today, and so if it was a week from now, it would say D7. So if we look at this first survey in the row, this is the Youth Outcome Questionnaire 2.0 self-report. This is the outcomes measure that we use to monitor change. It is the admit instance. It is to Jeremiah to complete, and it is going to be active for 14 days from this date, from the admit date. So if we want to administer that survey from here, all we have to do is click Administer Now, and you're provided a handful of options for administration. So if you're going to have the person sit down and fill out the survey on a computer, and if it's the same computer that you have the Remote Research Director dashboard bookmarked, and on which you have the dashboard bookmarked, you're going to want to open it up in this browser tab. That means it's going to close down R2D2, and it's going to simply show the survey. Now, I'm not going to do that right now for training purposes. I'm going to open up the survey in a new browser tab. And so what we're looking at here is the first survey in the lineup. After the client completes the survey and clicks Submit at the bottom, then another survey will come up in queue. So if you are having someone sit down at a computer to complete the survey, it's that easy. If you're actually if you're taking data that were entered on paper and transferring them into the system, what you're going to want to do is come into the same place and fill out the items in parallel with what you see on the paper. And then this is a really important detail. Down here at the bottom it says complete date. Now, if the child is completing the survey on a computer, then the complete date will automatically date stamp as the day they clicked Submit Now. But if you are transferring data from paper into the system, you want to make sure that the complete date here is the date that the survey was actually completed on paper and not the day that you did the data entry. It's a very important detail. If you don't get that right, it could confuse the reports used for the study. So that's one way to find the client and administer a survey using in a new browser tab or in this browser tab. Another option is to use the kiosk delivery method. Now this is a more secure option because there's no way that if you use this kiosk on a special device that's dedicated to data collection, then there won't be direct R2D2 access, and then there would never be an opportunity for a client to be able to back into the system by using your bookmarks, or maybe you had a tab open on your device. If you use the kiosk on a separate device that's dedicated to only data collection, then it's just a more secure delivery method. So if I click kiosk, it's going to show me 3 key pieces of information, which are a client secret code, a relative secret code, and this permanent link. So this permanent link is a URL that is specific to your program and your R2D2 account. So if you were to use this on another device, you would just simply open up Google Chrome in that device, enter the URL, click enter, and then bookmark this kiosk code entry field here. So if we go back to Jeremiah, we can see that today's secret code is 679B. This code is only good for one day. So each day, someone has to reach in to the system and grab that. Once the secret code is in there for the day, it's good to go all day long. And then we have to enter Jeremiah Johnson's name exactly and birth date as we see it here. So it's Jeremiah Johnson, born October 26, 2000, in the year 2000. Click next. Oh, I misentered the date. There we go. It's just another way to get to the same place to administer the survey. So that's how you use the kiosk. Now, this is the more intuitive, this field in the client record, the client profile page. This is a more intuitive place to administer surveys. If you're adding a client into the system and the client's sitting right there, you're already going to be here on this page, and so you can click the Administer Now. But you have other ways to do it. If you log into R2D2 and come to the home page, you can simply look for the client in the Find Client field, and if they have active surveys, the Administer Now button will appear on the right, and you can do the same thing. You can use kiosk or whatever method you prefer from here. Just need to pay attention. So this is self-report, this is the staff report, this is a parent report. So we would just simply click Administer Now, open it up in a new browser tab, and voila. So that's how you administer a survey through the Remote Research Director dashboard. Our next tutorial will teach you how to use the Research Coordinator's task list to keep track of the surveys that are pending and may need follow-up. Thank you.